just because it's really interesting. So the book is a Kerry Cassidy book, Rebel Gene, Secret Space, and the Future of Humanity. But there's a segment in here where she talks about chemtrails, and she lists 11. So she's interviewed hundreds of thousands. I mean, who knows how many people she's interviewed, whistleblowers, all, you know. So she bullet pointed 11 different examples of what she's been told chemtrails are used for. And I think it's relevant just to read this instead of me trying to remember them all.
Yeah.
So one, they form an amplified electromagnetic shield that makes intruders easily detectable, as far as I guess you want to call intruders extraterrestrials. Two, they dumb down the populace through chemicals that slow down the brain's ability to process information. Three, they sedate to provide a false sense of security. Four, attack the immune system. Five, put nanoparticles into the air to be breathed in and taint the food supply to transform humans into partial robotic super soldiers, easily manipulated by AI, resulting in a race of Manchurian candidates. Six, create a dome of cloud cover to hide air battles and firefights taking place above our heads. Seven, hide landings and takeoffs in strategic population areas near military bases and installations, including those underground and under the sea. Eight, change the weather to what they consider to be desirable in a certain area. This includes by cooking down the land to deal with global warming caused by our solar system, moving into an area of space where we are being bombarded by increased electromagnetic particles. These particles may be raising our vibrations, altering our DNA, and readying us for ascension. 9, produce a conducive environment for HARP and other technologies to link up with cell phone towers to create earthquakes. 10, increase cloud cover to screen out some of the more harmful effects of radiation increased from sunspots. And then 11, prepare the atmosphere of Earth for a new race of humanity 3.0 or other transhuman cyborgs AI. So those are 11 examples that have come from her whistleblowers. Take it or leave it, but it's just interesting to think about.
It is, and not a lot of people agree with all of those, but I mean, the ones that I know for a fact, because there's evidence of, is the canopy of aerosols being used to, shield us from solar radiation, and to manipulate the weather and change the weather's trajectory. And, the ionospheric heaters being used to affect the jet stream, affect the hurricanes, like tornadoes. They can blow all that stuff away. And the deep underground military bases. Now, do you guys remember last year, 1,200 CEOs resigned, and over the course of time, a lot of them went to New Zealand to build these bunkers to hide and get away from because they knew something was coming. That should have been the very first thing the population should have questioned. Why are the rich running to New Zealand and these other places hiding and building bunkers? So much so that New Zealand had to create a law saying quit building bunkers.
Really?
Really?
Well, what's interesting too is 2019 when the earthquake happened in China Lake, and where was that? California?
China Lake, California.
Yeah. Some people came forward and said that was like the central hub for the chemtrail facility, basically. And that earthquake was directed at that area as like an alliance effort, I guess, to try and wipe that facility out. And you really did notice, I noticed a lot less chemtrails after that for a while, but they all came back. That wasn't their only facility. They had others. And if that's even true, I don't actually know. I've never verified that, but it was just another example of these underground bases. Yeah.
Yeah. They use ionospheric heaters to generate those earthquakes, like the one in Japan. There was an MIT detected anomalous heat signature over the atmosphere of the fault line in Japan that caused the earthquake and the tsunami. So I mean, all these earthquakes, some of them natural, but you can't really trust if anything's natural anymore. To be honest with you, even the rain, isn't the same like it used to be. This rain dries out really fast. It's not, and the reason like it rains before it snows is because they need to generate that moisture. They need that moisture so they can create that flash freeze effect of snow. It's really strange, and you can see it. It's really obvious if you pay attention, but most people just, they're completely asleep to the fact that, hey, you're being poisoned every single day. You know what I mean?
So we grew up eating snow as kids. I mean, I ate it all the time.
Unfortunately,
it's probably not a good idea to be doing that anymore. Actually, even walking around in the rain, especially if you have some type of autoimmune disease or chronic disorder like chronic fatigue or whatever, the stuff like that, walking around in the rain, that's not going to help all that stuff getting into your body. Actually, that stuff is probably the cause of chronic fatigue and autoimmune diseases and whatever else, it's just not safe anymore. Like you said, like it's hard to know what's natural anymore. I mean, that's even looking at humans, like what it's doing to our bodies, like is not natural. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they want more people, to be submissive and obedient. They want people to be more dumbed down so these programs can continue. Now, like I said, there's two schools of thought. It's either they've gone out of hand and we're all about to get murdered by these programs collectively, wildlife, us, insects, everybody. Or the other side, which is the one side I'm leaning on, this has just been pre-planned for a long time, and they're going to call everybody in to get the ideal number. Like the Great Reset is all about destroying legacy systems. I'm not sure if you guys know what those are.
Enlighten us.
So legacy systems, Whitney Webb she used to be the last American vagabond, but she moved on. I actually did this work right here, and I read through her stuff. So legacy system is ownership, essentially. So like owning a car, owning cash, owning, having a credit card, owning home, and they want to get rid of all that. And how they plan on doing it is, so no more private cars. It's just going to be rideshare programs. All your medical data will go to a centralized government intelligence agency where they will just store it all in there, so they can monitor what's going on. No more private homes. It's all appointed room and board. No more cash. They're going straight into the digital wallet. And this is internal memos in our government talking about how to do this under the guise of trying to keep up with China's AI program. I mean, I don't believe that AI is the reason, that we're going for this. Maybe, for one reason or another, but it's always been talked about one world government since the very beginning. And it's happening. This Great Reset will destroy every country's individual sovereignty. Where will this take us? It'll take us under UN law, under whatever the UN justifies as, rules. Like in the Georgia Guidestones, it says, get rid of useless bureaucrats or useless politicians. That means anybody from the sovereign nation of America, right? Or at Canada, just they want their own people in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.